Hey everyone, welcome back to Immediate Movie Reactions. I'm here after watching The Mandalorian and Grogu. And before I get started, I have to do the thing that I hate to do, but I have to do it, I guess. And that is, please like, share, subscribe, do all the buttons and things. So this movie, I will tell you that growing up, obviously, as a Star Wars nerd, this is a movie that I would have dreamed about as a kid. But like many people, we've fallen off of Star Wars and fallen off of particularly Mandalorian. I believe it was about halfway through season 3 that I stopped watching. And I had zero expectations. I guess that's not correct. I had expectations that this movie was going to be awful. The previews, even though it had some of that beautiful Star Wars iconography, it looked silly. It looked bad. It looked like, and I am a defender of Return of the Jedi, but there was a clear intention going from Empire to Jedi to make it more kid-friendly and to make it more toy-friendly. And I thought that's what this movie is doing. And it's not that it didn't do it. It's that it was better than I expected. But before I get too deep, I do want to, there are a couple issues that I have. Number one, I hate Star Wars properties that don't have the Star Wars crawl. Why not? It's just lazy. Like, I get at the beginning when they first started doing that, let's try and do something different, but let's not. It's freaking Star Wars. Do what we want from Star Wars. We want the crawl. That is fun, right? That's what we're looking for. That's the nostalgia. I mean, maybe the kids that are now growing up with it aren't growing up with that same beginning text, but please bring that back. I will also say that Grogu, despite the absolute genius of the puppetry and the stuff that they're doing with that, he looks silly. I really believe that this show never intended for it to be Mandalorian and Grogu. It was going to be a Mandalorian show. Grogu, or Baby Yoda, was in the beginning and in the first season and just absolutely blew up, and then they got stuck. So I think that there are large sections of this that look absolutely kind of silly. I grew up wanting nothing more than to see Yoda kick some fucking ass, right? And then seeing it, I believe it was in episode 3, The Phantom Menace, it was like, this is stupid. And unfortunately, that's the way Grogu looks in a lot of this. One thing I really did enjoy about this film is there were some really cool monsters and, you know, the armor, the stormtroopers, all that sort of thing. The monsters I thought were great, even though a little bit repetitive. It was cool to see Randall from Monsters, Inc. getting some more roles, see what he's doing lately. There's also a Hutt played by Jeremy Allen White, and Rada, who's in an arena, and that was actually kind of cool looking. I like what they did with the Hutts, even though I did not need to see the Hutt orgy at the beginning of this. The entire film was just kind of a collection of moments. It was stuff that was happening, but there wasn't much of a story. I would say about halfway through, it just kind of got boring. I started to lose interest in it. It definitely spins its wheels. There's a whole section that is Grogu and these little puppet things, and I should know what they're called, but I don't know what they're called. These little, not minions. They have their own little arc, and it's just stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It's just there. It's so silly to say about a Star Wars film. It's just there for the kids, it feels like. Other than that, I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. There were moments where it was bringing back what I love about Star Wars. I don't want to see Mando as like this Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker level boss where he is taking down 3 AT-ATs with really zero trouble. But basically what happens is he goes from like, he goes to capture his mark, and then he brings it back, and they're like, well, you screwed up, but you know what? Here's a new ship for you, and then go capture something else, or go rescue something else, and then he goes and he does that, and then they're like, well, you kind of messed that up too, but here, we found some extra money for you. Like, none of that makes any sense. He's fighting stormtroopers. There's, a dozen of them, and he's punching the guys in front of him, and there's 2 or 3 standing behind him, and I understand the cliche of fighting one at a time and all that sort of thing, but for them to be standing there with blasters and then not blasting him, the overall, the fights look good. Like, the film looks absolutely fantastic. But there isn't a whole lot of challenge. At no point do you ever feel like, any of the main characters are actually in trouble. Sigourney Weaver doesn't really fit into this film at all. Paul Sung-hyun Lee is in this, Mr. Kim. He is absolutely, well, I'll say he's amazing. He's in it for about 30 seconds, but it's really cool to see him. He's also in the show, so that is great. Despite everything, it still felt like a Star Wars movie. I wanted some more of the orchestral music. I wanted a little bit grander of a scale instead of these little pocket moments of action. But I do think it's good to see it on the big screen, because some of the landscapes that they visit, some of the fight scenes, they are really cool, and they were great on the big screen. It is loud, it is exciting. Doesn't look like this film is doing very well. We were here, obviously it's opening day, well, opened last night, middle of the day, but there was hardly anyone there. So I hope this film does do a little bit better, and it doesn't go down as like a Solo, as like a train wreck of a, just an absolute bomb of a Star Wars movie. But then again, I don't think we need more Mando movies. Let's just go back to the show, and the few people that are still watching it, let them enjoy it there. I am going to give this movie a 7, and actually I was going to go a little bit higher, but realistically thinking about it, there isn't much of a story. There is no character growth. There isn't a lot from the actual main series that gets tied into this. It's sort of a bottle episode that is extended a little bit too long. So there we are. It is a 7. If you saw it, please let me know. What did you like about it? What didn't you like? Like, share, subscribe. What is your favorite Star Wars? And I will see you off to the next movie.